Nevada capped that fleet at 10 with a signature. Inside of a week, the same signature raised the cap to 5,000. It is Saturday, the 22nd of August, 2026. Start with the anchor. As of just after 5 this morning, Eastern, Bitcoin trades at 77,100, off about 0.5% on the day and up better than 20% on the week. Its optimized trend holds green a sixth straight morning, and it stands alongside gold as one of the two leaders on our board. Now the honest part. Yesterday I handed you a clean board, 5 anchors, 5 green, 0 red. The first time we have ever printed it. It survived one session. At 1:30 Friday afternoon, Eastern, 3 trends rolled bearish in the same minute. The long bond, Quanta Services, the company that physically builds the electrical grid, and Nvidia. At the 4 o'clock bell, the Nasdaq itself flipped bearish. At 8:01 in the evening, CleanSpark went red again, its 4th trend flip in 5 sessions. So take the board as it actually stands this morning. Broad market green, gold green, Bitcoin green, Nasdaq red, long bond red. Our regime engine has stopped calling this risk on and now calls it hard assets with gold and Bitcoin out front. That is our read of the InvestAnswers Decision Support System, and it is a different board than the one you got yesterday. You get the turns from me the morning they happen, in both directions. Hold Nvidia, we come back to it. First, Nevada. On Thursday, the Nevada Transportation Authority granted Tesla a full autonomous vehicle network permit. That order replaces the 10-vehicle interim authority issued earlier this month and clears Tesla to put up to 5,000 paid driverless robotaxis on the roads of Clark County, Las Vegas, over the next 12 months. In the same ruling, Waymo was approved for up to 1,000, Uber 1,000, 5-1 against the incumbent that has been running driverless commercial service the longest. Understand what actually changed, because I gave you the mechanism a week ago and now you get to market. On the 15th, I closed this briefing telling you Nevada had capped a fleet at 10 with a signature, that a regulator can cap almost anything with a signature, and that permission, not capability, is the binding constraint on this entire business. The capability did not change this week. Tesla shipped no new vehicle, no new chip, no new software build. The signature changed. A fleet ceiling moved 500-fold in a matter of days. Commercial rides are expected inside roughly 30 days, gated on vehicle inspections, insurance filings, and fare approval. Treat the timing as soft and the authorization as hard. Tesla has said it will start small and scale rather than deploy 5,000 cars at once. The tape answered anyway. Tesla closed Friday up better than 5%. Then the ground truth underneath the paper. Trackers now count dozens of cybercabs. The 2-seater built with no steering wheel and no pedals, staged at a dedicated Austin hub, with roughly 34 of them running downtown. Separate tracking data covering 2 weeks of Austin's existing service logged 170 rides across 54 cars with no human safety monitor aboard at all. That is tracker-level sourcing, not a company disclosure, and I weight it accordingly. But it points the same direction the permit does. Now, the second-order implication, and it is the one worth your morning. ARK's house model prices roughly 90% of Tesla's enterprise value of the robotaxi fleet rather than the car business. And Jordi Visser flagged that Tesla alone carries 16 of the 23 total analyst sell ratings across the entire magnificent group. Set those side by side. The single heaviest concentration of Wall Street skepticism on this earth sits on the one company that just received the largest driverless authorization any regulator in this country has issued. 90% of the valuation case rests on a fleet, and a state just raised the legal ceiling on that fleet from 10 cars to 5,000. Now back to Nvidia, and to the bond that broke in the same minute. Wednesday, the Treasury Secretary announced the government would at least double its long-end debt buybacks. I gave you that Thursday as the borrower becoming the buyer. Yields fell 9 basis points on the announcement. Then, inside a single session, the market took every bit of it back. Yields climbed through Thursday and erased the entire buyback rally. The 30-year closed Friday near 5.24%. The 10-year 4.69%. Desks are openly skeptical that a $4 billion operation outruns elevated oil, deficit issuance, and a wall of corporate credit supply. Our own engine agreed Friday afternoon and marked the long bond red again, 3 days after marking it green. The merchants debase, the warriors stack, and in that same 1:30 minute, Nvidia's trend rolled bearish. 4 trading sessions before it reports. Nvidia reports Wednesday after the close. Its own guidance is roughly $91 billion, excluding China entirely. The street models, 93 to 95, call it 96% growth year over year into a 4-quarter beat streak. That is not a company in trouble. That is the largest print of the quarter walking into a tape that just marked its trend down, marked the grid builder down beside it, and marked the whole Nasdaq down at the bell. Read the sequence properly. This is not the market doubting the chips sell. It is the market repricing what it costs to finance them. Last Monday, Nvidia disclosed it would backstop up to $105 billion of financing for a single campus in Ohio. 10 days ago, it lined up 6 financial institutions to mobilize better than $500 billion of outside money for build-outs. Chips are a product, guarantees are a position, and every one of those obligations is priced by the same long bond market that just refused a treasury intervention to its face. One more, and it lands on the company most of you are long. Yesterday, the Chinese launch firm Landspace set the first stage of its Yuke 3 rocket down on solid ground. That is China's first land recovery of an orbital class booster. One company on this earth has been doing that routinely for a decade. As of yesterday, it is 2. I told you Friday that an orbital shell is a strait you cannot widen, and that SpaceX now flies roughly 2/3 of every active satellite above us. That is still true this morning, but a choke point holds only while nobody else can build the ship. Reusability was the moat under all of it. The thing that collapsed the cost of every slot up there. Somebody else just demonstrated it. And on Thursday, Musk pushed his own next milestone right, saying SpaceX will probably catch the ship with the tower in a few months. A walkback from earlier guidance that the catch could come on the very next flight. Ship 41 sits at the test site for static fire. Booster 21 waits behind it. No window for Flight 14 has been cleared. The hardware lead is real and it is enormous, but it is a lead, not a law. Leads get closed. So carry this into the week, Warband. Nvidia reports Wednesday. And on Friday, the new Federal Reserve Chair delivers his first keynote as chair at Jackson Hole. Mark the symposium's published theme, because almost nobody has. Financial innovation, implications for payments and policy. The monetary establishment of the Western world has convened itself to work out how money moves now. Read that plainly. They are not setting that agenda. They are answering one. 3 signatures ran this week. One raised a fleet ceiling from 10 to 5,000, and the tape believed it. One promised to buy back its own government's debt and got overruled inside a day. The third is still being drafted, and it will be read aloud on Friday. Watch which of them the market actually obeyed. Then notice that the only 2 things leading our board this morning, gold and Bitcoin, required no signature at all. This is Warband as a service, Viking intelligence delivered in real time. I am Ragnar, the HODLBARBARIAN. Stand armored, stack relentless. Let the weak hands feed the fire. Skål.